Hey there, coquipirate. I really enjoyed watching your video, and I think this is a very fascinating topic. I think more people should actually talk about this. This is really like an interesting issue. Now, I'll start from the problem I had with your video. I had only one thing that I had a problem with, and that is that you said that a customer that would go to a brothel is kind of, by definition, that's what I understood at least, that it's kind of by definition that he's sexually harassing them, because by him being there, it's as if he's saying, have sex with me. Now, here's where I disagree with you on that. I have a problem with current sexual harassment laws. I think they're too strict, maybe especially towards males, but I think they're too strict. I think that there should be a revision so that sexual harassment has very simple rules to it. You can come up to a complete stranger and tell them, I want to have sex with you, and that should not be considered sexual harassment unless one of three things happens. Once she says no, then you cannot keep on bringing it up or insisting, then it would be harassment. Or you cannot lay hands on her after you said that you want to have sex with her, or maybe even before, like touching her inappropriately. Obviously, that should be a serious crime. And the third thing is using psychological pressure or manipulations, or offering money to a complete stranger for sex. Those should be considered sexual harassment. But just coming up to a complete stranger and saying, do you want to have sex with me? I don't really see the problem with that. If she says no, then fine, that's it. She said no, then they're not going to have sex, and that's it, end of story. No big deal, nothing happened. So, in light of that, a person that goes to a brothel, well, let's just put it this way. A prostitute knows exactly what her job is. A customer that goes to a brothel knows exactly what kind of service that place is providing. So I don't really think that it's sexual harassment by him being there. Now, I do have a problem with brothels in that it's like there's somebody else that's getting money for the service that the prostitute is providing. So I'll try to talk about what I think legal prostitution should be like, the system. So first of all, internet services, which are like you go to a website of either an individual or a collective of individuals that are working in prostitution, and you can see their pictures, short descriptions of them, or something like that, and you can and each prostitute should have a description of what she does or doesn't do, and what services she provides, and how much they cost, and that's it. Nothing is negotiable. But if she does promise certain services, then she is obligated to provide them or give the customer his money back. For example, if a customer goes to a prostitute, and this is all like if it were to be legalized, then it would just be a business, So if okay, so that was internet, and now to brothels or like places where prostitutes work. There would be a representative that the customer goes to before he even sees any of the prostitutes, and he goes up to that representative and discusses exactly what it is he's looking for, what kind of services he's interested in, and that representative also knows the prostitutes and what they do and for how much and something like that, and the customer could also get probably like photographs of the prostitutes, and it would all be very formal, and then after the customer decides the representative then brings up the information about the deal to the prostitute, where she could decline. If she agrees, then before they actually have sex, there would be this mandatory meeting where the prostitute and the customer actually meet up for a couple of minutes and discuss exactly what they would be doing, and and that would be like signing a contract, so to speak. And then if a customer pays her, for example, for butt sex, and all she does is give him a blowjob, she cannot take his money. That's at least what I think, because if it's legal, then everything should be by the book. So she should give him his money back if he didn't get the service that he paid for. And this is something that's going to be kind of problematic to enforce, but I think that if one country would actually have a good model of completely fair and institutionalized prostitution, then slowly by slowly, like, the regulation on it would be, just like any other business. I think this is a fascinating topic, and more people should actually discuss this. But it's kind of taboo, I guess, so not really many people want to talk about it. On a side note, I've never been to a prostitute. I don't really like the idea of paying for sex, but that's just me. I have no disrespect towards prostitutes at all. I actually know a couple, and I have no disrespect towards them. Actually, on the contrary, I have more respect towards them, because from my personal experience, some of the prostitutes and strippers that I know are fascinating people with really interesting life stories and a nice set of brains. Yeah. I really liked your video, and I'll make a longer video discussing what I think about prostitution, and this was just like a half-assed video that I just came up with, so I need to put more thought into it and actually, draw conclusions and stuff like that. Thanks for bringing up something to think about. Have a nice day, dude.